All right, let's get into it. We're about to break down what feels like a modern fable, but it's a true story. It's about how the daily frustration of a dead-end job can actually hide a multi-million-dollar opportunity. And this isn't about some lucky break, it's a total masterclass in strategy, pure grit, and how you can completely rewrite your own future. So this is where our story begins. Negative $62,000. For a lot of us, a number like this isn't just a balance on a screen. It's a cage. It's this crushing weight that feels absolutely impossible to escape. And for our main character, Ryan, it basically defined his entire world.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're at this mid-sized financial firm in New York, and we've got two main players. First up, there's Ryan. He's 28, a state university grad, stuck in the lowest level IT job you can imagine. And then you have Chloe. She's 26, a Wharton MBA, and a total rising star analyst. Now, they worked on the same floor, but let's be real, they lived in completely different universes.
So let's dive into Chapter 1, Ryan's life in what we'll call the Red Ocean. And this is a world that's all about fierce competition, not enough to go around, and just this constant, grinding struggle to stay afloat.
So what in the world is a red ocean? Well, it's a business term for a market that is just saturated with competition. You can literally picture a sea stained red from this bloody fight for survival. But for Ryan, this wasn't just some business concept, it was his actual life. He was out there fighting for scraps in a totally crowded, ruthless job market. So his daily reality was just this grim, soul-crushing loop of resetting passwords and fixing printers. After paying for his New York rent, his paycheck barely even touched the minimum payment on his student loans. And to the high flyers like Chloe, he was totally invisible. You know, the guy she'd call for a loose monitor cable and then dismiss with a distant, "Thank you, IT, sir." And then, just when you think it couldn't get worse, it did. The company announced layoffs, and his department was the #1 target. At the exact same time, his student loan defaulted, and the interest started to spiral out of control. He was basically standing on the edge of a cliff with a simple choice: fall off or figure out how to fly. This right here, this is where the story completely pivots. Instead of just drowning in his circumstances, Ryan started to look at his world in a totally different way. He began to hunt for an opportunity in the one place everyone else saw only frustration. And you know what? Being the invisible IT guy turned out to be his secret weapon. He saw everything, the real, unfiltered problems of every single department. He started noticing that these star analysts, people like Chloe, were wasting over half their day, a staggering 60% of their time on mind-numbing manual data entry for compliance reports. He realized this wasn't an IT problem. It was a multi-million-dollar inefficiency hiding in plain sight.
And so, the grind began. I mean, the whole city's asleep, and Ryan is wide awake. From 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. every single night, he was teaching himself Python. He was diving deep into the weeds of these super complex financial compliance regulations. Entertainment? Gone. He lived on credit cards, pouring every ounce of energy he had into building a software tool to automate all that tedious data entry. And then, he took a huge risk and secretly tested his prototype on the company's own systems.
And the result? Oh, it was absolutely staggering. A task that took a whole team of analysts 2 full days to complete, his tool did it in 15 minutes. This was way more than an aha moment. He hadn't just built a simple little fix. He had created a revolution in a spreadsheet. Now, this is the crucial part. He could have shown this to his boss, right? Maybe he would have gotten a small bonus, a pat on the back, but he knew what he was holding was way bigger than that. So he made the boldest move of his life. He didn't ask for a raise. He resigned. Okay, on to Act 3. This is where Ryan goes on the offensive. He's taking his secret weapon to the market and building a company from the ground up. And this is where we see the flip side of that red ocean. See, Ryan wasn't trying to build a slightly better version of some software that already existed. He was creating a blue ocean, a brand new, completely uncontested market space. By solving a problem that nobody else was even looking at, he made the competition totally irrelevant. And the market's reaction was immediate and fierce. His very first client signed a $50,000 annual contract right there on the spot. In the super tight-knit finance world, word of mouth just spread like wildfire. Only 6 months later, he had 10 clients, and his company, the one he built in his apartment, was valued at $3 million. But remember that number, that negative $62,000 that started this whole story? the cage that defined his entire existence? Yeah, Ryan never forgot about it.
So, the day his company got its first major payment, he logged into a student loan account, and with a single click, he paid off the entire balance. The screen refreshed, $0 and 0 cents.
In that moment, just watching the balance drop to zero, he took the first real breath of free air in his entire adult life. It was never just about the money, it was about liberation. And that brings us to our final act, just 1 year later. The full, complete transformation from a guy stuck in a cubicle to a founder standing in the spotlight. The change in just 1 year it's just staggering. Look at this. His title went from IT help desk to FinTech founder. His net worth jumped from negative 62 grand to a company valuation of 30 million. Even his clothes changed from a t-shirt in a cubicle to a custom suit on the main stage of a FinTech summit. And it's at this very summit that our story comes full circle. Ryan, who is now the celebrated founder of the hottest new company in the industry, has just finished his keynote speech. So as he steps off stage, Chloe, whose firm was desperately trying to get a meeting with him, walks up. Before she can even finish her pitch, Ryan just smiles and says, "Chloe, we've met. A year and a half ago on the 32nd floor, I fixed your monitor." And just like that, the power dynamic shifted instantly. That distant "it, sir" was replaced with genuine admiration. He wasn't invisible anymore. He was the visionary who had solved one of her biggest problems. By creating massive value for others, he fundamentally changed how the world saw him.
So, the key takeaway from all this is simple. Ryan's story proves that the biggest opportunities are often hidden in plain sight, usually disguised as the frustrations of your daily work. He found a multi-million-dollar problem right under his nose. So the only question left is, what's the one right in front of you?
Ryan's journey all started with tackling debt, and that is a battle so many of us face. So let's share some wisdom with each other. What's your #1 finance hack? Drop it in the comments below. Let's all learn something.